Hold up, wait. The Clippers are actually interested in Russell Westbrook? I tell you what, before I go any further, let me just say this.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel. You know, the Clippers as a team, first of all, Russell Westbrook is a good piece. He's a good talent. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a top 75 player. He's all those things. But you know, when you think about the Clippers and you watch Russell Westbrook's gameplay as you're watching it here, yeah, Russ is good. Russ makes a lot of splash plays. Russ does a lot of good things. But what a lot of people don't see, who don't watch basketball as much as I do, or maybe some others do, maybe as much as, you know, you do, who's actually watching the channel now. But what a lot of people don't see is the turnovers. The assist to turnover ratio is horrible. His shooting from 3-point range is horrible. And just overall as a player, what he can contribute to the game and give to the NBA as a whole now is not what it was several years ago. And honestly, several years ago, you know, when he was on OKC, you know, with Kevin Durant, and, you know, they were, you know, living life good there and everything. They couldn't win a championship then. Now, I will say it might have been because of the Miami Heat Big Three. They did go against D Wade, and Chris Bosh, which was a hell of a trio to actually deal with. But hey, Dirk Nowitzki found a way through it, you know, on the Dallas Mavericks. So you got to look at it from the standpoint of, hey, if he found a way, then so can Russell Westbrook, so can, you know, the OKC Thunder. But at the same time, I understand that Russell Westbrook is a top 75 player. And even this year, you know, with the Lakers, playing with the Lakers, you know, he shows a lot of promise. He showed a lot of promise coming off the bench. You know, he sacrificed a lot, which I got to give him a lot of credit for that. You know, if he's going to sacrifice, that's good. But I just don't know if Russell Westbrook would be what the Clippers need. The Clippers as a whole, as a team, is trying to win a championship. And to me, when you have Russell Westbrook on your roster, it's going to be hard to do that because of the mistakes that he does make. They usually cost a team more than actually, you know, help a team, you know what I'm saying? Or should I say the mistakes that he makes, they're not recoverable at times, you know what I'm saying? When you're playing against better competition, you know, you find yourself losing games, you know, that you will win. Whereas if he made one or two less turnovers, or you know, if he was able to knock down the 3-point shot a little bit better at a better clip than what he can, maybe if he was like at 35% or something like that, he's like early 30s, late 20s in the percentage in shooting threes this year. So, I mean, with that being said, Russell Westbrook is, you know, he's still got a little bit of rust in him, I should say. You know, he still plays with a little bit, you know, edge like he used to on OKC, but it's just not as consistent as it was because he is a little bit older. But at the same time, you got to ask yourself, can Russell really actually help you, or would he really hurt you? Now, right now, Paul George, Marcus Morris, and a few others are vouching for Russell Westbrook to be, you know, on the Clippers. And somebody needs to tell the Clippers that, you know, hey, this would be a mistake if they went this route. I personally said, you heard me say on one of my videos here previously, at the end of my video where I was speaking on it briefly, I said, if Russell Westbrook comes to the Clippers, I just don't know. I don't believe the Clippers are going to win a championship. I don't believe any team Russ is on is going to win a championship because he doesn't have championship level IQ basketball mentality. He doesn't have that. You know what I'm saying? He has a high basketball mentality in regards to playing at a high level individually, his own stats, what he can do, but it doesn't equate to winning. And when you're on the Clippers right now, the way the Clippers are built right now, or these last couple years, they're built to win a championship. They're not built just to go to the playoffs and go to the first or second round. They're built to go a lot further. I mean, think about it. They went to the conference finals without Kawhi Leonard. I mean, even though Kawhi actually chipped in and helped them get that far, because if it wasn't for Kawhi Leonard, they wouldn't even have made it past the Dallas Mavericks. But still, regardless of that, you have to take into account that this team is built for a championship. And I don't know if Russell Westbrook, what he brings, can give this team the extra lift. I just don't know it. I don't believe it. And hell, Kawhi Leonard has said it, you know, basically in so many little words or minimal words, you know, that he doesn't believe it. I mean, because, you know, he had a chance. There was a a conversation that came out last year about, Russ and Kawhi beef or something like that, because Kawhi didn't want to team up with Russell Westbrook to go out and try to win a championship. He rather went and got Paul George, which he did. And, with Paul George playing Russell Westbrook on OKC, that's been his teammate. He likes him. And I think Paul George is vouching for him a lot, even with the front office with Lawrence Frank and everybody on the Clippers. I believe there's some, commotion going over the Russell Westbrook situation, like whether they need him or can they use him. Would he be? Will they be going after him with his buyout situation, possibly with Utah? I mean, me personally, I said before, I just don't think so. I think Russell Westbrook is a great, player, one of the greatest players that ever played this game. I'll give him that, but individually, he's one of those great players. He's not a great player as in like, make your team better. And when you want to win championships, you got to make your team better. And that's the one thing that I always, look at in a player. Are they making their team better, or are they the type of player that can put a team on their back and just carry them to the promised land and win a championship? There's only two type of players to me, superstars that win championships. The ones that can put a team on their back, like Michael, Kobe, LeBron, Kawhi. There's only a few like guys who can do that, to me, who could like put a team on their back and go all the way to the championship and win it. And then there's guys who just make everybody else around them better, like openly involved, you know what I'm saying? Everybody. And LeBron's in that category too. He makes teammates around him better. He finds players, and he feeds off their energy and allows his energy to continuously keep going and better as the game go on, as long as he know he have the right teammates to have his back. And a lot of other superstars are the same way, so that's what I'm saying. To me, Russell Westbrook is not making the Clippers better to me if he's actually on this roster. And, I think that a lot of people might want to push for Russell Westbrook just because of the Lakers situation. It didn't work out there. He was the fall guy for everything, which he wasn't to blame for everything. I mean, I'm going to sit here and just be honest. He wasn't to blame for everything in Los Angeles. He just was the fall guy because LeBron and AD they were there first, and LeBron is like still the face of the league, so they're not going to blame everything on him. Anthony Davis is his boy, so Russell Westbrook had to be the third guy, the fall guy in the situation. And that's what it was. And I know Russ didn't like that, but I mean, he was a professional. He carried it. He handled it very well, as best as he could, better than I could if I was actually on the team. But, he did very well with that. Came off the bench. He kept his mouth shut. And for the most part, he played. He did what they asked him to do. And they still traded him away. And he probably feels hopeless after that. But at the same time, the Clippers, could be a destination for Russell Westbrook. So I don't want you guys to act like, it's not possible, because it is. It's very real. And like I said, there's players on the Clippers right now that's pushing for Russell Westbrook to possibly get there, because that would give them an extra weapon that, other teams don't have. But at the same time, it can hurt you more than help you, because look at what he was doing with the Lakers. The Lakers were trying to get rid of him the longest time because they saw that Russell Westbrook is still good. He still has a lot of game left in him, but not championship level game to where it's like you need him to execute plays at certain times of the game. You need him to play at a high level at certain points of the game. And those moments where the game could swing back and forth between your team and the opposing team, you got to have the great players who can swing the momentum back into your favor by their gameplay. And I just don't think Russ can do that, because Russ is like I say, he's a top 75 player. He's one of the great players of all time, but at the same time, he's not a winner. And when you're not a winner, it shows in your basketball DNA. It shows over time that you're not a winner, because you're put in situations where there should be a lot more celebration, a lot more winning, and there's less of that. There's the same amount of winning that it was when you didn't have help. I mean, he's in play with, like, let's see, James Harden. He's played with Paul George. He's played with LeBron and AD. You know, he's played with KD. I mean, Russ has played with a lot of people and hasn't won a championship. You know, a lot of superstar. Well, I mean, I just named superstar talent right there. You see what I'm saying? I'm not naming just got regular guys. I mean, Russ is a superstar too, but I mean, I named superstar talent that he's played with and came up short and no championship, and that's not good. Or they haven't even came close. The closest he came was with, you know, KD, but we all know how that happened with the Heat. They lost, but still, like, you gotta the Clippers gotta look at this in its entirety. Like, is Russ really the answer? Is he really the guy you need, or is he somebody that you want to put on your roster to have extra depth on your roster or something like that, just to have some out the bench that can come out there and control the offense when Kawhi and PG sits down? And I personally don't think Kawhi would be cool with this. I really don't. I think Kawhi is keeping quiet about it. But if I'll say this, if the Clippers get Russ, I don't know if Kawhi Leonard's going to be all aboard. And that's just my honest opinion, because I don't think Kawhi Leonard wants to play with somebody like Russell Westbrook, because it doesn't equate to championships. Because if you just heard the superstars that I just named that Russell has played with in his career, there's no reason why he shouldn't have a championship. Or there's no reason why he shouldn't at least been to multiple NBA finals. He should at least been to 2, you know, by now, with, you know, all that talent. And not to mention, there's one name I did forget that he did play with was James Harden. I mean, he was on that OKC team with him and KD, and they still didn't come out with a championship. So, you know, you got to look at these things. These things, you know, these things are right in front of you. Sometimes you got to pay attention to them, and they're there. But, I mean, if I were the Clippers, I definitely would pull back on this one. I definitely would think twice about it. I wouldn't personally go after Russell Westbrook. I would keep what you have. Russ would bring in more, you know, media, more everything, but he also will bring more mistakes and less of what you need as a team if you're trying to win a championship. So if the Clippers make this move, it would be a tough one for me. Like I said, I would somewhat be mentally checked out with the Clippers, because I don't think this move would help them in regards to winning a championship. But hey, we'll see what decision they make, and we'll see what happens. But hey, that's my take on everything. You leave any comments in the comment section. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and hey, till next time.